Well, the world has sure gone nutty, buddy, even downright cruddy, buddy. Wish I missed the past, buddy, but there's still Buddycast. No, don't be naughty, go meet everybody here on Buddycast.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the founder and host of Buddycast, Nick Sorensen.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of everybody's favorite show, Buddycast. I'm your host, Nick Sorensen. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful evening. We've had some crazy weather here in Erie in the past hour or so, but that doesn't mean it means it's a perfect day for Buddycast. Speaking of Buddycast, I am here with my buddy, a returning buddy, Alex Sphon from the NWPA Pride Alliance. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for coming back on the show. I love returning buddies. So, buddy, June is Pride Month. What does this month mean to you?
June has a really special meaning to our community. It's a month that we can celebrate all the advances we've made. And for me, also, it's a good time to kind of go through a checklist and see what advances still need to be made.
Brilliant. And you're the president of the NWPA Pride Alliance. What does this organization mean to you personally?
Honestly, this organization is becoming just as much of a part of me as anything else at this point. I am now in my 8th year as president, so it's been quite a while, and I've seen a lot of growth. So I feel like me and the Pride Alliance have now become synonymous with each other.
Nice. What could you say about your fellow board members? How much do they mean to you? Like, give them some encouragement here.
You know, we go through a lot together. We have a board of 18 people, which is rather large for an operating board, but we have so much that we do that everybody's needed. It's a complete volunteer-based board. We have grown so much. The core group of boards, probably over half of the board at this point, has been on the board for 5 years or longer, which is, for a volunteer board, is unheard of. They're great. They all have their own little tasks that they know how to do, that everybody brings such a diverse background. One thing that I love about this board is there's no minimum requirements. You don't have to be a college graduate. Our only requirement is that you have to be 18 years of age and live within 50 miles of the city limits, or the county limits. So that is the only requirement that we have.
Wow. And have you seen, since your time as president, have you seen like a growth in membership or any difference in that area?
We don't really have membership, but we've certainly seen growth in our organizations. So when I joined the board, I've been on the board now for this is my 11th year on the board. Our Pride rally that we used to hold was probably anywhere from 300 to 400 people, and this year at our Pride Fest next Saturday, we're looking at probably 5,000 to 6,000 people. So it's really tenfolded in that time.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I forgot to mention this. I think I met one of your board members at one of our previous jobs. Is there a board member by the name of Crystal? Is she still on the board, or?
Not that I can think of.
Maybe it's someone else I'm thinking of, but I thought she was on the board. Anywho, so what are some of the activities, since June is Pride Month, what are some of the activities that you put on, that you get involved with?
Yeah, so we have really, for Erie Pride, ours is celebrated really starting next week and going through a little later in that following week. So we have 6 events in the next 9 days, I think it is. So we have we host a monthly happy hour in Meadville, because we do host a Meadville Pride in July. We have the Erie Pride Parade and Festival, which will take place on the 24th. We're also having Drive Your Pride, which is kind of our answer to the pandemic when we wanted to have a Pride Parade but weren't able to. And that's become such an inclusive event because anybody with a vehicle can drive or can participate. So whereas like our parade, if you have any kind of mobility issues, it's really difficult for you to participate in the parade. And then this year, we're going to wrap it out with one of our favorite events is Pride Night at the Erie Seawolves. That's going to take place on the 29th. So we've been doing that for 6 or 7 years now, minus a year during the pandemic, but that is really a great event to
Yeah,
kind of round out.
tell us more about the Pride Night at the Seawolves.
So we have tickets available on nwpapride.org. For $25, you get not only your ticket to the game, but you'll also get a special Pride Edition baseball hat to wear.
Wow, that is awesome. Tell us more about the parades. About you said there's both the mobility one and there's a drive-by one.
So the Drive Your Pride Parade is going to take place on the 25th. That's next Sunday. It's going to take place 1 or 2 o'clock. My mind's kind of blanking on me right now. But what we do is we just get a bunch of cars together, a bunch of our friends and family, and we decorate our cars in Pride materials and take a lap around the peninsula. We make sure that nothing falls off the car or that we aren't disrupting the park in any way, shape, or form. But it's just a really great way for people to kind of come down and relax after everything that is Saturday.
Nice. In the Erie community, have you seen more businesses supporting your mission, supporting your organization?
I think over the last 3 or 4 years, it's kind of remained constant. We used to have a great community member that every June he would take off and get every small business he could to fly a pride flag. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to do that this year. So to me, it seems like there's less, but I also know that there are more that are flying the pride flag year round, regardless of the month. So I think it's more of a visualization thing. It might seem less, but the support is still out there just as much as it has been.
Mm-hmm. Follow-up question: what are some businesses you personally have seen that are open, that aren't afraid, to show their support?
So in Erie, almost all the theaters are supporting. So those are small businesses, small nonprofits. Drama Shop has had their flag. We've partnered with them for probably 10 years now. Andora's Bubble has been a huge supporter. They actually, when they first opened, they chose to fly a pride flag during Pride Month and got just a hateful letter. And they basically said, screw that, we're just doubling down. And they now fly that flag every month. They have a pride flag in their window. Just during June, they make it that much bigger so that people can't miss it. You have companies like Erie Apparel, Pop Luck. They have a pride popcorn all this month. Then we have some of the bigger companies. Erie Insurance is going to be one of our sponsors this year. Central Outreach, Adagio Health. So those are all showing their support in different ways.
Wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. I just got hired at Erie Insurance. This is my first week, so I'm happy to learn that I work for an inclusive company.
Yeah.
So, buddy, let's say there's someone out there who, doesn't know about NWPA Pride Alliance, is kind of going through a tough time now because of who they are. They're afraid to come. They're afraid. Let's say they're afraid to come out. They're afraid to, be themselves because of everything that's gone on in today. How would you advise them? How would you, not necessarily take their hand and walk them through it, but just take their hand, stand by their side, and know that you're with them?
I think the important thing, anybody that is potentially facing coming out as queer in any shape, is you need to make sure that you do it when you're ready. This idea of they're out, why am I not out, is not helpful to anybody's mental health. Everybody has their own journey they have to go through. If you're not comfortable being out and celebrating Pride, you can still do it from the comfort of your own home. It's one of those things that just because you may not be comfortable being at the park or actively participating in one of the events doesn't mean that you can't celebrate in your own way.
Love that. I love that advice. You're right. You don't have, you don't have to be the ones marching on the street. You can just be who you are and be right there, even if it's from the comfort of your own living room. I love that advice. So, where can we learn more about the NWPA Pride Alliance?
We have a beautiful new website that we've had. It's about a year now. nwpapride.org is our main site with all of our information. We also cross-post almost everything that we post on our website directly to our Facebook and our Instagram, which are both just NWPA Pride. You can find us on there. Those are really our three main sites: our website, Instagram, and Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Now, the last time you were on the show, I asked you about what does it mean to be someone's buddy. I'm going to switch that question up because it's a sponsored question. My buddy Jonas Kane from Hashtag Positivity wants to know how important a buddy is today, in your own words.
You know, to the queer community, having buddies is really important. We're currently going through a political climate that has just become more and more divisive. So we're seeing LGBT rights walk back pretty regularly across the country. Maybe not right here in our state, but it's happening everywhere. So the queer community really needs buddies that are going to vote, make an informed vote, and vote to support LGBT rights. Next week, we have the PA Fairness Act that's getting ready to come up in our state Senate that would add sexual orientation, gender identity, and a couple of more items to the classes that it's illegal to discriminate against in the state. So we need people to contact their local legislators, vote, and then also vote with your dollar. So we see a lot of states like Florida, Texas, and Tennessee actively persecuting the LGBT community with the laws that they're passing. They are doing more harm than good. So maybe when you're getting ready to plan your next vacation, you plan to go somewhere different.
Absolutely. And I love how you said, hey, there's this going on, but here's why it's important to be someone's buddy. Here's why it's important to just be with us. Like we've kind of been talking throughout this whole episode. You don't have to be next to us marching down the streets of DC. You just have to be supportive of us. Like, you just have to be ultimately kind of like Mr. Rogers. Just be kind.
In today's culture, allies for any kind of minority class are more and more important. We're seeing where the people's voices are being shrunk. It's the squeaky wheel is what gets all the attention. And not everybody is comfortable being that squeaky wheel, but you can still make a difference when it comes to how you spend your dollar, who you vote for, and how you treat other people.
Exactly. So, buddy, we've talked about this throughout the entire episode, but now it's time for what's called the ultimate Buddycast buddy question, which is, for the month of June, what's your ultimate advice?
Honestly, love yourself. You need to really work on yourself before you can be an advocate for others and to be there for other people. Especially this month, me personally, I have learned over the years how important self-care is. Before you can really do anything for anybody else, you need to be able to take care of yourself. So make sure that during busy months and busy times that you're taking time to recharge and do the things that you enjoy. This rat race that everybody's on can be exhausting. Most people nowadays are burning the candle at both ends, myself included, and I'm pretty sure there's a third end somewhere that's burning. But it's one of those things that taking time to relax and process everything that you're going through.
Absolutely. As one of my favorite Elton John songs, I'm Gonna Love Me Again. Take care of my very best friend. Find the wind to fill my sails. So, well, buddy, thank you for taking time out of your schedule. I know you're a very busy man during this time, but thank you for taking your time out of the schedule to speak with Buddycast again, to share your input, to give your ideas, and to ultimately just be open with us. Thank you. Much, much appreciated. So, and I have one favor to ask you before we close out this show. I asked you this last time. I'm going to ask you again. Whatever you do today, tomorrow, next week, next month, or even next year, promise me you're going to go out and be someone's buddy.
Got it.
Alrighty. For all my buddies out there, this is my buddy Alex Sphon. Please check out the NWPA Pride Alliance. Again, they got a brand new website, so check it out. Thank you again, Alex, for stopping on Buddycast. It was a pleasure. I'm your host, Nick Sorensen. Thank you for joining us on another episode of everybody's favorite show.
Well, the days are going fast, buddy, we've got to make them last, buddy, before